All right, part A is not too terrible though. Parts A and part D are kind of all right. We'll do those ones before lunch. So you are given, I'm sorry, I can see it. You are given that equation and it says what dy dx equals. It's just saying show that. It's basically like prove it. So they're saying that is dy dx. You just need to show the steps that will get you there. All right. So we're going to take the derivative of this thing. What rule do you need for this first part? Product. Okay, so the first thing is 6x. The second thing is what? Good. Okay, so how would product rule start? All right, first thing. And then you can write y prime, but you should probably write dy dx because that's how they have it in the problem, and that's typically the way you see it written. So first times derivative of the second plus. Good, so that would be y, and then derivative of 6x is just 6. Cool, we're on our way. Equals derivative of 2, nothing, 0. I guess you could put 0. Plus, and then what would the derivative of y cubed? 3y squared dy dx. Good, nice save. Now, the calculus is done. Now you're going to do algebra. It's a more difficult one because there's 2 dy dx's. What would you start doing algebra-wise next? Yeah, get them all on one side. So we're going to subtract over this term. So that's going to give us 6y equals 3y squared dy dx minus 6x dy dx. We're just going to do a couple parts for part 6, for number 6, before lunch. All right, and then I heard somebody say this next step. There, factor, good. So you're going to have 6y equals dy dx parentheses, all the other stuff. And then I actually heard somebody say this step too. You guys are kind of saying all the steps. You do have to get them in order though. Divide this over. So that is going to look like this. But when you go to check on your paper, you'll notice that's not what's written there. Yeah, well, I wouldn't think of it as factoring so much. You're not like wrong, but I would just think of it more like reducing a fraction. Yeah, they'll all divide by what? 3. So it would be 2y over y squared minus 2x equals dy dx. And isn't that what it says on the paper? Checking my stuff here. All right, points. It's a point for this first step where you do all the derivatives. And then it's a point basically for the rest of it, like all the algebra, like solving it for dy dx. I don't actually feel like that one was too terrible. I think it was pretty straightforward. The answer was on the paper. So, but again, you would be encountering this problem after being there for 3 hours when you're super tired. So you got to have some stamina, right? And then we'll do part D. Part D is actually very, very similar. Pull it up here. A particle is moving along the curve. At the instant when we're at this point, so they give you an x and a y, horizontal position is increasing at dx dt equals this. What is dy dt? You're going to do practically the exact same derivative. The only difference is each variable is with respect to t, time, okay? But it's actually going to look almost the exact same as what we just did here. Make it like that. All right, so you're going to do another product rule. It's going to be the first thing times derivative of the second, but it's not dy dx, it's dy dt. Dy dx is derivative of y with respect to x. Now we're just doing with respect to time. All right, plus the second thing is y. Now derivative of 6x will be 6 dx dt. Very good, perfect. Equals, derivative of 2 is still nothing. That didn't change. And this would be 3y squared dy dt. It's almost the exact same thing, which if you calmed down long enough to get part A and part B and C didn't completely throw you off, you would hopefully get that. I think it was a point for that. You look back through this. Which I feel like that should have been worth more than 1. But now you just plug all the numbers in. 6 times x. What was x? 1/2. Good. You just got to go find them. Dy dt Oh, dy dt is what we're looking for. Plus, all right, what's y? Good, -2 times 6 times dx dt, 2/3, they handed you that, equals 3, and then y was -2, right? -2 squared dy dt. Again, dy dt is what you're looking for, so you just leave that in there. Now we're going to clean it up. This would be 3 dy dt. This will actually end up being minus because there's a negative in there. All right, 6 times 2 is 12. 12 times 2, 24 divided by 3, 8. It's on the non-calculator part, so you got to be able to get through that. Over here, -2 squared is 4, times 3 is 12. I think you guys are with me. Awesome. All right, then -3 and then divide by 9, so -8/9. If you were saying factor, you're not wrong. You're just going about it a more complicated way, but it's not wrong. If they're like terms, you can just put them together. All right, and then it was a point for that answer, which again, I feel like it should have been worth more than that. No one asked me.